Hello friends and fashion lovers, welcome and welcome back. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Esther, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make this trendy no side seam cowl kaftan. For this tutorial I'm using 3 yards of fabric, and I'll be using the green one for illustration since my fabric is quite lashed for my cutting table. So assuming this is your 3 yards by 60 inches fabric, do well to fold it widthwise like so, and this is it placed on fold on my main fabric. The folded side will be for the back seam, while the open side will be for the front seam. So from the folded side, go ahead and measure 25 inches. And you're connecting from that 25-inch mark upward, just like you've seen me do. Next is to mark the front opening. So right here I'm marking 15 inches. I think you could mark less at the start because it's subject to changing. You can readjust it, so this might not be your final point. So just mark less. So at this point I'm marking 15 inches. So from that 15 inches, do well to make a slight curve. So you can curve it more down or you can curve it less. So I just curve it about 5 inches away from my initial 25-inch mark. So from that my new curved mark, I'm just going to cut my fabric. So you could increase the opening, and also you could make the hem more narrow. This is totally up to you, but I would advise you do less initially. And this is how it looks on my main fabric. You will have to note that this folded part is the center back, while the open part is the center front. So at the center back side, you could do well to place your length. So you have to make sure that that is where your length is. So I don't need much adjustment because I just have enough. So you just make sure that you have enough length and your hemming allowance. If you did not do that initially, sorry I didn't mention it initially. So now at the center back, I'm going to go ahead and mark the neck width. Please don't forget that the back is on fold right now. I'm going to mark the neck width. So the neck width is totally up to you, but I decided to use a 3.5-inch neck width. So the neck depth that I'm using is 1 inch, but because of the seaming allowance along the shoulder, I just decided to mark 1.5 inch, knowing that it will finish at 1 inch after seaming the shoulder line. With that, I'm going to just pretty much connect the neckline and cut it out. After cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead and note the center point. You want to note the center point. You could use a chalk, you could use something to just indicate the center point. So now with the center point indicated, you're going to go ahead and stitch the center front. From that split point, your 15 inches that you had marked upward, stitch it all the way upward. After stitching, you can go ahead and slit, just give it a slit there so that you'll be able to open your seam easily. Now, depending on your kind of finishing, you could cut that back, but for now I'm just going to open that seam and iron. So you can also use that part as the hemming. At this point, let's just concentrate on finishing up the dress. So do well to iron open the seam. Remember that part that you had marked, that center back part. So it's time for you to place your dress this way. make sure that your front seam is placed directly on that center mark point. You can see that it's a bit raised at this point. That's why I asked you to use less, which you could easily adjust much later. So this is it at this point. You can see, just make sure that the center back notch matches with your front seam. And this is how it looks on my main fabric. So go ahead and trim it out. Remember that you are taking your actual length measurements from the center back. So this trimming does not affect your dress length, because you are trimming the front part. You are trimming the excess that would have gone to the front. After trimming it out, go ahead and notch your neckline. And you can go ahead and cut the neckline, placing it this way. Just mark out how you want your neckline to go and cut it out. So this is it. I have cut mine out and my neck depth is 7 inches. But in case you don't want to keep flipping your fabric, you can just leave it the way it is after you have notched the neckline. Just pin it in place, making sure that it's right side facing. You're going to place your tape at the side and mark your sleeve opening. Sleeve opening, you can decide to measure it from your round sleeve. It's between 7-8 inches or 9 inches for extra large. So just mark your desired sleeve opening right here. After you have marked your desired sleeve opening, you can take to your sewing machine and stitch from the sleeve opening to that neckline. So after you might have stitched it, assuming you didn't cut out the neckline, now you are going to lift it like so, making sure that you have the center back out of the way, and you'll be only dealing with the center front at this point. Go ahead and place your desired neck depth. Mine was 7 inches for my neck depth. Just place your desired neck depth there and cut it out. So I think it's straightforward if you stitch it, but whichever one, I didn't stitch before cutting it out. I actually cut it out on my main fabric before stitching, but those are the two ways you go about the front neckline. And there you have it. You can go ahead and hem your down parts and also finish the neckline either with a facing or with a bias tape, and also hem your sleeve opening, but you have to notch that so that it can be easy for you to hem it. So give it a little bit of notch and go ahead and hem it. So I earlier mentioned about the slits in front in case you want it a lot higher. So what you could do is just place it like so and trim it. So you can make the hem more narrow, you can make it exactly how you want it to be. But it's better for you to start with less, then you can adjust it to fit whatever you're going for. Mine, I didn't need adjustments. And that is it for this tutorial. If this tutorial was helpful in any way, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye for now.